guys, welcome back to another episode of my channel. Not episode, actually, video. Another cast video, actually. So this video is going to be how I make my Sims. I'm going to be showing you guys the detailed process of what I go through when I'm making my Sims and cast, and the mods I use, the sliders, and main CC that I use for all of my Sims and all that. Like how I get my Sim style and all that stuff. So, a few things. Sorry if I'm talking really quiet. Again, I'm recording it late at night, if you guys aren't even surprised, because that's how it usually is. And I'm not really going by a script, to be honest. I've been procrastinating this video for a long time, and I decided now that I wanted to record it because I'm in a sim making mood. So if I'm like not making any sense, or if I'm like kind of mumbling or like rambling on and all that stuff, please don't mind me. Sometimes I know what I want to say, but it doesn't come out properly, so yeah. Anyways, I'm just gonna get started. So what I wanted to mention first is the mods I use. The mods you definitely need if you want to make Sims, or just in general if you want to play Sims 3, is Master Controller and Master Controller Integration. Integration is just an add-on where you can edit the NRAS settings in CAS, but Master Controller is definitely what you need if you want it. Just like extra cheats, I would say, just to manage the game much easier and faster and all that stuff. But yeah, those two are the main ones I need. So for integration, it allows you to edit CAS settings in CAS, which you can do by right-clicking the options menu here, and then you'll have this menu pop up. For me, my settings are max sliders in cast to 1000 and slider multiple facial to 5, and then I have multiple locations for accessories and makeup on true, and then I have compact form for all accessories, clothing, and hats. So this one technically you can do if you want to, especially if you have the smooth patch mod. Smooth patch will allow you to just load your CC without being in compact form. Usually without it, it'll take a while to load, but with smooth patch you can just load your CC right away. Very helpful. But for me, I like the look of the compact form, so I've turned it on, and I also have the mod that allows it to be compatible with Master Controller or NRAS mods in general, because they do have a conflict and stuff. So yeah, that's what my settings are. And then I also have category changes set to true for enabling adult clothing for male and female teenagers, but you don't really need to know that because I'm not making teens right now. But yeah, this is my settings. For the sliders I have a lot, to be honest. I never really used sliders because I had the issue where it just wouldn't move anything on the sim if I moved the slider around. But when I found out about this mod, obviously it worked, so I downloaded a bunch of sliders, and it makes my Sims look much more unique. And the sliders I use, I'm just gonna list them on the screen because I mean, I'll put them in the description too, but I'm not gonna show which one's what because I don't know where it's from. But I have Ahmad and Bella 3 like 4 sliders, and then I have Arch Lips from Centauri Sundown. I have Eyelash slider from S Club, Glasses from James Rock 89, Height slider by Seymour NYC. €1 Mutt sliders is also another one that's very important. And I also have a few other sliders that I unfortunately don't know where they're from. Yeah, I don't like the names of them don't have a grader on it, so I'm not sure where they're from, so I might be missing a few more, but those ones I have so far linked on my Tumblr, and obviously I'll link them down below too. To get into the actual sim making process, I start off with the Sims skin. Obviously I have a default, which is Santal skin by Nectar Seller, but I also have their Neroli skin from Nectar Seller as well, which is basically a lot like the Santal one, but this one has freckles and more detailed skin facial details. And then I also have a bunch of different skins that I got from downloading other people's Sims. So I think one I have was eSkin Fresh, and then I have the Chester one. I don't know who's that from, but I might link them down too. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with my Neroli one that I usually use. I go with the pink one, but sometimes depending on what the sim looks like, I just change the skin tone. I rarely use the yellow one, to be honest. It's a little too yellow for me. Maybe the pale ones don't look bad, but mostly I go for the pink version, pink skin tone, or the darker one. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with the pink one. And usually I have sim sliders, or like their body modifiers, like usually in the middle, except for this one because I don't really need muscle definition, but I usually go for the middle for now because I don't know what kind of look I'm going for the sim just yet. And this is a CC free sim that I made a long time ago. I'm just using her as a base. I don't do their names just yet because I usually take a long time to find the name, and usually after I make the sim, that's when I try to look for the names so that I can kind of get a vibe from them in their final draft and look and stuff. So yeah, usually what I do to begin with is I change the hair so that the hair is out of the face. Obviously that seems fine because her hair is in a ponytail. I don't do eyebrows just yet either because again, I want to see what kind of vibe I'm getting from them after I make their face and stuff. So yeah, so the kind of look I go for is kind of a slimmer face, a high nose bridge nose, thin nose, a small tiny face with a very defined jaw. So I have like, okay, that's a little too high. So I have sliders to make the jaw a little more V-shaped, and I use the shape one, the shape of the jaw slider, this one, so that it's a little more squarish. And yeah, and then for the chin, I try to make it small because I like smaller chins, I guess. I don't know. The cheeks, I make high cheekbones, not really defined, to be honest. I'm not really a fan of the very defined look of cheeks, like when they're like really like not like that, but when they're just very defined and stuff. And I do like chubbier cheeks, so I make sure that their cheek is like on the fuller side, or at least on 0, because yeah, I don't know, that's just how I like my cheeks to look, I guess. And that's it for the face, to be honest. Ears I don't really touch, honestly. And head width, yeah, I put it on the slimmer side. And the jaw, I think it's fine, so I'm not gonna touch it. So I'm gonna remove her makeup because I can't really see her eyes pretty like that well. So for her eyes, I like my Sims eyes to be really tiny. I don't know why, I just like the look of it, and I make sure that the distance is like pretty close, because if it's like too far, it looks a little not too unnatural, but it's just my preference. And the depth, I try to make sure to put it's like a little bit on the outer side. Stretch, I usually make my eyes stretch a lot even more, and the width a little bit smaller. And rotating the eyes, it depends on how I feel about the sim. For now, I think I'm just gonna put it a little bit lower, and I think I'm gonna put her eye height a little higher, honestly. So when I make my sims, it just depends on what I feel fits the sim, like what the vibe I'm going for. It really kind of depends on what I'm feeling at the moment, but my sims do still kind of look the same. I think it's just like the way I make them look. And like the CC I use specifically, I have kind of a sim style, I would say. But yeah, they have like the same features, but there's obviously still differences between them. So for the sim eyes, I usually like to make the eyes like hang a little lower. They're kind of squinting. I kind of like that look. I think it's like the look of the siren eyes that I like. Apex I usually put on the middle or on the left side. For now, I think I'm gonna keep it on the left. And the eye corners, I usually just fiddle with this. I put the eye corners in the inner ones, usually more on the lower side. The eyes, okay, outer corners kind of depends because sometimes the eyeliners look really weird with them if I change it, so I'm gonna leave that for now. And the eye shape, again, I also make my sims more squinty, so I keep it on the left side. And eyeball size, I'm gonna skip. Usually I did put it on like the lower end, but I've been liking how my Sims eyes look when they're a little bit smaller. You'll guys see when I put contacts on for her. And apex lower, I just keep it in the middle because I don't think I usually touch it. I'll skip the eyebrows for now after I pick an eyebrows for her. So for nose, again, I like how my noses look really defined and slim. I also put the mask on a little like lower. Lengthwise is fine, but I usually put the depth a little bit there. I put the bridge a little higher and rotate in the like middle. And then again, width is gonna be on the slimmer side, and the nose bridge I also do on the slim side, like that. That's how I like my Sims noses. And height, usually this is fine for me. I might change it depending on how her lips look. I'll keep that for now. Moving on to lips, her lips honestly look okay, but for the specific sliders I use this one to make sure that there's like a shape to the upper lip, which is a really cute look to me. And I also have this middle upper lip width that I like to use. I'm gonna put it on the right side, and I think thickness is okay, but I'm gonna change the width. I really like the look of like wide when their lips are wider on the outside. And same thing with the bottom lip. The bottom lip, what I like to do is put down the shape, I make it thicker, and I increase the width a little, and then I also have this thin lip thing so that there's like a little upside down U shape. I guess that's how you can describe it there in the bottom. If it's too like defined, then I'll just put this down or just fix that and then fiddle with this. So this look is pretty cute to me, to be honest. And another one I like to do is I go down to definition and I put it on the lower end because I don't like it when it's too defined. Their cupid's bow or top lip. Yeah, width I usually go on the slimmer side. I like the cute of a smaller lips, but like full lips. Honestly, I think her lips look a little too thick to me, so I'm just gonna bring it down a bit. Where is it? Thickness. Okay, so I'm gonna put it down a little. Maybe even the width, I'm gonna slim it down. There we go. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and this is also another one that I use. I have body sliders, so I bring up the butt and I bring up the hip size. I also bring up the leg width, and I also bring down the waist and shoulder just a little. So she's a little curvy, which I like, a little curvy. I'm gonna bring down her height of her mouth a little, and honestly I think she's pretty cute already. Also sometimes I use this, sometimes I use this baby mouth slider. It's such a cute slider to me. It makes them look like they're pouting a little, or they're puckering their lips, which is so cute to me, but I'm gonna like put it a little bit lower. Okay, that's good. So next I'm gonna go to eyebrows. There's ones that I do go to a lot, but I also try to experiment with the eyebrows because I do add a lot more now and then. Like these ones are my favorite so far. And just Sour Lemon Similar has the best eyebrows ever. Like these are all from her. I really like them. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go with these, and I'll show you guys the eyebrows that I use, or eyebrow sliders I mean. So I'm gonna just quickly bring down the height Okay, not that. Bring down the height and change the rotation. Okay, yeah, so what I like to use is I like the brow width one and also the distance. Distance is kind of iffy right now. I don't know why her eyebrows look like this, to be honest. Okay, let me bring up her eye socket just a little bit. She looks so sad. She looks so sad. I'm gonna bring her down and bring this down too. I think I just have to fiddle with the eye corner ones. Okay, I think this is pretty good, but yeah, usually I bring down the eyebrows a little, but I think her eyes are a little kind of too close or something. I don't know what's going on with her eyes, but it's just not looking cute if I bring it down, so I'm just gonna leave it like this. But usually straighter eyebrows are my favorite, but if they're arched, I don't like them too arched. I don't like them to look too mad, so I definitely don't put the eye rotation too much. But yeah, this is the look I think I'm gonna go for her, I hope. Yeah. So yeah, now I move on to makeup. So I have a lot of go-to makeup here. Usually I like to use S Club ones, definitely my favorite ones. Like this one is my favorite, and sometimes I'll mix them up a bit. I also have been liking Small Simmer's eye details, specifically this one I think is what I use. But yeah, I use this in another sim video I made recently, I think, and I really like how it looks, so I'm gonna use that. And on top of that, use some other makeup. So I can go with this. So specific details I like to use are eye bags. This is from Pauline. I don't think it's really showing, but yeah, okay. If I do that, it'll show. But I like to use eye bags just so there's a little bit of definition under. For eyelashes, I use S Club here, and I think I'll give her like bigger ones or longer eyelashes. I think I'll give her this one. And then eyeliners, my favorite part, because I'm an eyeliner girl. Some of them don't show, but because of the eyeshadow from Small Simmer, sometimes the eyeshadows or eyeliners don't show much. This one's my favorite eyeliner. Okay, I'm gonna go with this eyeliner, and what I usually do is I make it brown and I like bring up the opacity so that it's not like really dark, and I also like bring it down a bit too here so that it's not too intense. And for some sims it'll be higher or lower. I guess for her it's on the lower end, but it still looks pretty cute to me. And for blush, this is where most of my skin details are. I'll show you guys step by step what I usually do, so, or which ones I do actually. It's kind of out of order the way I do it, but this is a nose shadow that I like to use. Try to match it with the skin tone, and I'll bring the opacity all the way down. I just like the line here that it makes, and that's like very important for me so that it's not too much and stuff. Then I have a nose mask that I like to use. I use any burnt waffles, just depends on what I'm feeling. This one I'm gonna go with this, and I'm gonna bring down the opacity very low. And then I have this highlighter that I use from SimSimi. This one I'll bring the opacity up or down depending on how dark or light the skin tone of the sim I'm using. I thought my game was gonna crash for a second. And then there is this blush that I use that is from Agnelid on Tumblr. I recently found this one and I've been loving how it looks on my sims. Gives it a lot of detail, and I bring down the opacity just a little bit on the middle side. And then I have some, if I can find it, some lip corners that I like to use. I use this one and another one that I have. Let me show you guys. It came from a sim that I downloaded, so I'm not sure exactly where it's from, but I like how it defined the lips look with these two. And then I also have some contour from Small Simmer. Again, love Small Simmer, and I try to make it as close to skin tone as possible, a little darker, and then I bring down the opacity just so that there's a little bit of definition on the face. And then there's more. There's a lot that I use. There is this under the chin shadow, makes them extra pouty, which I'm in love with that kind of look, so I bring down the opacity on that. And then this time is when I put on like birthmarks or freckles or like blush in general, just like makeup. So for me, I think I'm gonna go with maybe some dimples. Dimples are cute. I bring down the opacity all the way down. And maybe I'll give her some freckles that I saw earlier. Or maybe since she already has that on her skin, I'm just gonna use some moles. I don't know where this dot is from actually, but I'm gonna get rid of this birthmark. That is from the EA one, the original. And maybe actually I'm gonna change her eyeshadow so that it's more colorful. I think I'm gonna go with this one. This one, oh, not that. This one is my other go-tos from Praline Sims, my favorite in terms of makeup. I'm gonna make it like a little pinkish. Yeah. And then bring the opacity down. She'll look better with contacts, don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more makeup. There's this one also from S Club. I'll just give this to her. And then lips. God, that's too close. Lips. Oh my god, I have a lot of lips that I love, but there are some that I really love. If I can find it. This one is my favorite one. Like, look how pretty and like juicy the lips look. These are my favorite, and I think I'm gonna give her more on the pink side. Like that. Nope, not that. Maybe reddish pink. It's so cute. It's like my favorite makeup ever. Okay, so I guess sometimes I mix and match actually. So like sometimes I put it on top of one of the other, depending on how they look, to be honest. But this one I'm gonna leave it. I think it's cute enough. Now I go to put on some contacts. I have one that I use all the time. It's my favorite one. It's from Erwin N31, not N31, N13 contacts. So this is what they look like, and I think I'm feeling hazel eyes for her. I know she kind of looks Asian, but some Asians do have they do have some light eyes. So maybe I can give her, maybe I'm gonna give her this. I'm gonna switch these around. There we go. Yeah, she's looking so cute. And yeah, at this point, I think I just go ahead and tweak some more of the face. But honestly, I feel like I like how she looks. Maybe I'll just change the distance between her eyes a little more. There we go. So yeah, honestly, I think that's good. So yeah, I kind of look a little bit more of a realistic look, but not too realistic, I think. And now I go ahead to go to the hair. This is the longest process, I think, besides doing outfits. I always like go through a bunch of different hairs, so this I'm gonna skip a little. I'll get back to you guys when I decide on her hair. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with this hair. And now that I'm like staring at her, I think I'm gonna change her chin up. It's a little big for me, and I think I'm gonna lessen the shape of her jaw just a little. There we go. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's good enough. Maybe I'll actually bring down her. I'll bring down her eye height just a little. There we go. I think that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and do her everyday now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this outfit. It's really cute. The shirt is kind of coping with the pants, but I think it's just because of the sliders that I'm using. So yeah, this is so cute. I really love this hair. This hair is so pretty. But yeah, this is the sim for this video. I hope this was kind of helpful. Honestly, I don't really know how to make this video. I think that's why I kept procrastinating and putting it off, because I didn't know how to exactly like show you guys how I make my sims and like what to say. But I think this is fine, I guess. I hope it was somewhat helpful and kind of inspires you in a way. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave this here. I'm not gonna name her just yet. I think I might name her after. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!